Little Debbie in the house!
I'm never gonna let you go. I'm gonna hold you in my arms forever.
Welcome back. This is Walk On. We got Steve here from Pacific Plate Brewery. This is what the growlers look like, right?
That's them.
Oh man, go over there, fill it up for $12.
Anyone
I'm not
wearing a
even
Liverpool jersey,
trying to
come on in.
Anyone wearing a Liverpool jersey, $12. No, we're kidding. That's the actual price. But it's a good fucking deal. $12. Come on. Fill it up with good beer. I love his beer. Mango IPA. You guys should have that in stock all the time. And that horchata stout. But anyways, listen. We got sidetracked a little bit in the last segment. We're talking about all types of things. But you were at the Liverpool Swansea game.
That's right.
And I described it as a silent anxiety that hit the stadium. You were there with your...
Yeah, I was there. I was there with Danya.
And tell us about...
What I can tell you, Kehan, the mood in... Not only at Anfield, I mean the mood in the city. We woke up on the morning of January 21st in Liverpool. And our hotel was just a couple blocks from the Lime Street train station. And everyone in town was buzzing. I mean, this was the biggest thing happening. The Liverpool game, the Premier League in Liverpool at Anfield. The whole city was buzzing. Everyone knew why everyone was moving around that morning. And you would just hear people talking. Liverpool, they're going to win today, right? Swansea, no problem. 5-0, 6-0. I mean, this is what people were saying, and I loved it. I thought the confidence was great. What was Swansea? 20th place that day?
They were last.
Last. They're not last anymore, thanks to that win, but they were last that day.
Yeah.
And people thought we were going to blow them out. We got on that bus from the Lime Street train station that took us to Anfield, about a 15-minute ride, and there was a positive buzz, and fans were talking to each other. There was a lot of foreigners like us from different places, Scandinavia, different places around Europe, America, and we heard people being friendly, meeting each other, and nobody really seemed worried or concerned about the result of the game. We got to Anfield, and I think it was, let's say, about 30 minutes before kickoff, and we had one of those tickets that gave you lounge access. We had a Liverpool legend, no-name legend. What they say is a legend is just a former player. Former player come to talk to us. Shows you how much of a legend he was. I don't remember his name.
Everyone who plays at Anfield is a legend.
Everyone who plays at Anfield is a legend. And his little talk, his speech to us before the game went something like this. He said, well, let's get out there and let's score an early goal, because if we don't, you know that the anxiety is just going to build, and then maybe we're not going to get it, and we're going to lose.
He said it right there.
Man, that is kind of like a negative pep talk right before this game.
Ooh, yeah.
We're a little worried that we're not going to beat a team like Swansea. Well, we got out there into the brand new stand, the brand new main stand. We're right there in the L level, L11, and we're right there on the 18-yard box. And it was freezing. It's about 2 degrees centigrade, maybe 1 degree centigrade. I mean, we were freezing. And the game kicked off, and it was a great "You'll Never Walk Alone." We all sang it. Fantastic experience. But after that, the fans were not into it. It wasn't.
You told me earlier today, because some of it, partly because of the cold. It was
it was freezing. It was one of the coldest days in Liverpool all winter, all year. I mean, I know it was January, but you probably look back at the last 12 months, and that might have been the coldest day in Liverpool. The coldest day in England. It was freezing in England that week.
Yeah. But you guys still showed up. You were there at the game.
But you know who showed up? The Swansea fans. They were loud, and they were right there, and they were on their feet. And that first half ended, and it was kind of inconsequential, right? Nothing was determined. Liverpool was, being forced wide. They weren't able to play their game up the middle. We didn't have Mane back yet. Milner's crosses weren't effective. And we went in, to the lounge at halftime, had a few beers. Everyone was pounding the free Carlsbergs.
But at that point it was 0-0.
It was 0-0.
And it was
0-0.
But it was quiet, and there was this. I felt like there was, because I was watching.
There was an anxiety, yes.
Yeah, but to me it was kind of more. If you dig down to the deep of it, the nitty gritty, it's kind of like, why the fuck are we not scoring so much like we used to be? Basically, at the beginning of the season,
you could just see from the style of play that they were forcing us wide, packing the box.
But
we
that's
weren't
fine.
able to
We
play
played
up the middle.
Swansea earlier this season, fell down 1-0. They were packing the box, and we still won the game.
We had
2-1.
Mane.
That's true.
We had Mane.
That's true.
Right? And Coutinho was on form.
That's true.
That's the difference.
It was a tough game. Look, Swansea's a good team. Sigurdsson, Llorente. The last time we played Swansea, they didn't even have Llorente when we played them in Wales. So, yeah, it was a tough game.
Look,
and
I'll
of
agree
course,
with everything you said, except for Swansea is a good team. Swansea's not a good team.
Oh, come on. They have
If every team
lethal weapons.
Every team in the Premier League is a good team. If Swansea's a good team, then every team in the Premier League
every
is
team in the Premier League
But
has
Liverpool
a weapon
is a
that
better
can beat
team.
you.
Liverpool is
Of course. But Klavan started.
Yeah, well, we know all about that. We won't say too much about. I don't like to criticize individuals, but not having Matip in those games that we lost this year was, I think, one of the main reasons that we lost a lot of those games, or drew a lot of those games this year, when Matip was out, or Matip was injured, or Matip was ineligible for whatever stupid FIFA reason.
The fact is that Matip and Lovren together have made Liverpool a better team, but you can't rely on two center backs for a whole fucking 38 Premier League games, and for cup games, and for everything else.
You're right. And so that's what
Jurgen Klopp's
Klavan
fault.
was supposed to be, the third center back, the one that we can switch in there. Unfortunately, the guy's just not a very good player. Maybe he'd be a better player on a mid-table or lower table team, or heck, in the championship, Klavan would probably be a star.
Yeah.
But he doesn't belong on Liverpool.
But not only Klavan, Lucas has been starting at center back. This team has a lot of holes.
A lot of holes.
A lot of holes, and if it's about health and it's about depth, part of the time, yeah, Klavan and Lucas, if we had our way, would never start one game.
Well, let's bring it around full circle then. So I made a comment earlier about the professionalism of Liverpool, and I'm not necessarily only talking about the players. I'm also talking about the way Jurgen Klopp manages the team in the rotation, and the way that the ownership purchases players, allows Klopp to purchase players, and how seriously they take the fans and our desire to win this Premier League. Does John Henry and his people really think that with the money that they're putting in and the players that they're allowing to be bought, that Liverpool has a chance against the likes of teams like Manchester United with their Pogbas and their Ibrahimoviches, and the likes of Manchester City with their Sterling and their Aguero and their Hazard, right? I mean, we have a Mane and we have a Coutinho. But are these guys like those guys? Is Coutinho really up to that level? There's no doubt that he's one of the most talented players in all of soccer, but is he as professional and consistent as some of these other players? It's the same go for Mane. And let's not even talk about the defense, because if our forwards are superstars and they might not even be at those levels of some of these other teams, then we have huge problems on our defense in terms of the players that are purchased and the money that we're spending on them. And should the fans be outraged about this and demand new ownership or changes in who the ownership allows Klopp and his men to buy?
Well, Steve is getting in there deep, really deep. The players. Steve is calling out the players, the management, even the owners, spending money. But look, those are all good points. It's something Liverpool fan has been thinking about for many months. But right now we got the team we got, and we got the situation we got, which is 13 Premier League games to go, Is Liverpool going to be in top 4? Because that's all we care about. Champions League next year. We got to be there. Will we be top 4? Yes or no? I got Steve's prediction right after these messages.